Good afternoon, Central Ohio, and happy Friday, everyone. It's been a bit of a change here today after our nice mild temperatures yesterday in the 50s. Now talk about some colder air. I'm meteorologist Aaron White with a forecast as we are talking about this big cold front that swept through the area last night. It brought us some good rainfall, but now it's just bringing us these colder temperatures. A lot of wind here today. Winds have been gusting up to 30 miles per hour through the morning and into this afternoon. And we also had a little bit of light snow earlier today, but that has really cleared the area. There were a couple of flurries around even around midday, but now we're starting to see some sunshine, and that trend will continue as we go through really the rest of this afternoon. But here's a look at the radar picture over the last 24 hours as you saw all that rain build through the area. Watch the loop here again, rain, and then we got a break and then some more rain and even a few rumbles of thunder race through the area, and then eventually some light snow earlier this morning. But that has all since ended, and here's a look at some of the rainfall totals from the last 24 hours as we had some really good amounts across central Ohio. Wilmington had 1.13. Columbus officially we had 0.92 inches of rainfall, so just shy of 1 inch of rain. So really some decent rainfall amounts for everyone, at least a half an inch with all that rain that moved through during the evening hours into the early part of the night. Then we saw the colder temperatures move in and eventually saw a little bit of light snow, but thankfully it wasn't too much. Dusting in a couple locations that we saw earlier today. But as we look at the satellite and radar picture, most of that has now since really cleared the area. Just a couple flurries that we had this afternoon. But as we're looking ahead to the forecast going towards the Christmas holiday, well, take a look at the top 10 warmest Christmas days on record for Columbus, Ohio. The record high right now, 64 degrees. That was back in 1893. More recently, we had 62 degrees back in 2023 and 2021. And other years still had highs into the upper 50s. And the reason why I'm showing this is because our forecast right now for Christmas Day is looking actually pretty warm. So white Christmas, not happening this year because we are calling for highs around 59 degrees. That is 5 degrees off of tying that record high of 64. And I will say some of the computer projections are indicating that we could actually get up into the lower 60s. So 59 degrees, that is our current forecast, and we'll keep that for now. But if we continue to see that trend with these projections showing lower 60s, then we may have to bump up that high temperature a little bit more. Maybe not quite record setting. 64 might be a stretch, but 61, 62, maybe not out of the question. So not too far away, but all in all, whether it's 59 degrees or it's in the low 60s, it is going to be a warm, it's going to be a mild Christmas day here across central and southern Ohio. Not tracking any snow, but we could see a couple rain showers making their way through going into Tuesday and Wednesday, so leading up to Christmas Day. So if you're traveling, not expecting any major travel impacts with no big systems rolling through the region. The big story for really next week is going to be that warmer air spreading in, eventually leading to those highs in the 40s and 50s and potentially into the lower 60s. Now, as we go through the hour-by-hour forecast, again, we had a couple of flurries, some light snow showers earlier this morning. This afternoon, we're getting some sunshine now and clear skies in the forecast this evening into tonight. Well, that means it's going to be a pretty chilly night. We're dropping down to right around 20 degrees here overnight and for your Saturday morning. So not the coldest we've ever seen this time of year, but definitely a little bit on the chilly side, but definitely not as cold as what we had just earlier this week when we were down into the single digits, even wind chill factors down below zero. So thankfully we don't have that, but also tomorrow, going to see a quick warm up back into the 40s. We will see a little bit more cloud cover building in here for your Saturday. High temperatures right now forecast to be into the mid 40s, but for today, we're stuck in the 20s, unfortunately. And with that wind, it's going to make it feel like it's in the teens pretty much here for the rest of today. So a cold Friday, but at least we have some warmer conditions looking ahead to the start of the weekend. For tonight, partly cloudy skies, 20 for a low. Winds south at about 5 to 10. So that south wind is going to help to bring in some warmer temperatures going into tomorrow. So here's your forecast. 45 degrees. Could see a couple flakes in the morning. Otherwise, we're looking pretty quiet, and we will see some sunshine as we go through your Saturday. Our 7-day forecast showing 45 degrees for a high here tomorrow. We got 36 on Sunday, so we do see a little bit of a drop in temperatures. Not by much, but it will be on the cool side here for Sunday and Monday. Highs in the mid to upper 30s, but then we really start to warm up. We are back into the 40s here for Tuesday into Wednesday. And with that warm up, we could see a chance for at least a couple rain showers. It's not going to be a big system. It's not going to have impacts on travel. So if you are traveling Tuesday or Wednesday, or even earlier on, not going to see really any major problems. It's going to be mild, upper 40s, maybe close to 50 by Christmas Eve with a high of 48 degrees. But then there you go. Christmas Day, our forecast high is 59 degrees, nice and warm here across central Ohio. Not too far off that record high, so we will be really keeping a close eye on that. Whether or not we set a record, it's going to be a pretty warm one here across the area. Now, different story more recently as we were tracking that big storm system that brought us the rain, of course, yesterday evening into last night. Brought us a little bit of snow earlier today. Well, over the last 24 hours, that storm also brought extreme winds and even blizzard conditions across the northern Great Plains. Snow and wind gusts over 60 miles per hour hit parts of North Dakota and Minnesota. Here's a report from our sister station in Fargo.
Visibility on the roads in the Fargo-Moorhead area remained passable in the morning hours of December 18th, but rapidly progressed to become heavily obscured as the day wore on.
Safety is first and foremost. There's a number of challenges. Every situation is different. Every outage situation is different.
Perhaps the biggest impacts of this winter storm were to the electrical grid. Xcel Energy seemed to be hit the hardest, with a couple of transformers briefly going offline near downtown Fargo. Otter Tail and Grand Forks County also saw some outages.
It's really the weather pattern. You know, I know the weather's a little worse north of our service territory. It just kind of depends how those weather tracks, whether one utility gets hit or another utility doesn't.
While the Cass County Electrical Cooperative got lucky with only one of their lines being felled by a tree branch.
Tree branches, you know, with the wind, you get tree limbs break, go through the line. Any number of those things could cause a power outage in these conditions.
They say the situation could have been far worse, as there were no bouts of freezing rain, which is far worse for power lines than mere wind.
When you get those conditions where it sticks to the line, it can build up on those power lines. It adds weight to the line, can increase those chances of those lines galloping and slapping together. And with that extra weight, stress to the line can break, the power pole can break if that weight accumulates enough, that ice accumulates enough.
Authorities on both sides of the North Dakota-Minnesota border have advised residents not to travel until the blizzard passes, meaning many will likely hunker in place until conditions improve. In Fargo, Gabriel Osler, KVR Local News.
And yeah, pretty wild to see the conditions up there in parts of the upper Midwest. But also this is out of Wyoming, that same system that brought all the wind. Well, it also led to a lot of wind out across Wyoming, and even with the dry conditions led to extreme fire dangers in Wyoming, parts of the western Dakotas, western Nebraska, even Kansas. And this video that you see there, this is out of Wyoming earlier this week when they were tracking a grass fire that actually was fueled by, of course, the dry conditions, low relative humidity, and also that wind being able to really fan the flames. Thankfully, it was contained. Things did improve, but we actually saw other fires, similar conditions, again, across parts of Kansas and Nebraska with low relative humidities and really those strong winds. And I mean, when we're talking about the wind, they were gusting over 60 miles per hour. There were wind gusts up to 90, 100 miles per hour in parts of Wyoming, Colorado. Even Rapid City, South Dakota recorded a 96 mile per hour wind gust. So some very powerful winds that moved through the Great Plains, the upper Midwest over the last couple of days. But another video that I want to show you here this afternoon, well, this one's from Minnesota. So very similar to what you saw there in North Dakota just a couple minutes ago. This is out of Minnesota. This is Interstate 35, just south of the Twin Cities of Minneapolis, St. Paul, where they saw blizzard conditions, heavy snowfall moving through, combined with winds gusting up to 50 to 60 miles per hour, produced those conditions along I-35. Leading to travel advisories for a large section of southern Minnesota, even into parts of Iowa as well, as all that snow was moving to the south in addition to those very strong winds. So making for, not ideal conditions, of course, for those areas, but thankfully conditions have improved. That whole system continues to move out of the Midwest and really moving out of our area, leading to some better conditions for us as we look ahead to the weekend forecast. Again, we got highs in the 40s here tomorrow, so we'll take that, and eventually looking better by Christmas Day. And I want to talk about that one more time. If we can take a look at our weather graphics here once more, I want to talk about those top 10 Christmas days that we've had on record over the last 100 plus years. The record high, again, 64 degrees back in 1893. More recently, we had a couple days, Christmas Day 2023, Christmas Day 2021, both hitting 62 degrees. And that is possible for us. We could hit 62 once again here in 2025. Right now we are forecasting 59 degrees. I know this graphic, you see a lot of snow there. Well, we're not going to see any snow this year, unfortunately. So keep dreaming of that white Christmas. Hopefully maybe next year we'll actually have a white Christmas here across central and southern Ohio. But that's going to do it for us here today for the 10 Weather Impact Show. Again, enjoy the rest of your Friday. It's going to be cold out there for the rest of today, but things are looking a lot better as we get into this weekend and looking ahead to next week. And for more weather updates, you can always tune in later on this evening. Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz will be in with the latest on the forecast, of course, looking ahead to the Christmas holiday. So until then, you can catch more news and weather online at 10tv.com.